Hey guys, it's Tade here, and I'll be discussing my positive and negative experiences in Hong Kong and other cities in China as a black person. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. And kindly subscribe and like my videos, and it helps my algorithm, so hopefully I get it right this time around. You might also be helping someone else who's about to move to China or Asia in general. You can always follow me on my Instagram and TikTok, which should appear on the screen, and keep in touch with me and let's see what's going on. So I moved to Hong Kong in 2016 to 2018 for work, and I was excited about it. I am really an adventurous person, and I was a lot younger back then. I liked the Rush Hour movie. That was where I got most of my knowledge of Hong Kong free moving, and from there I was super excited about going there. Weather was amazing for the most part. It was mostly hot, and I'm a tropical person. So from January to September, this allowed me to do a lot of outdoor activities such as hiking, yachting. You can always wear your shorts, and for the most part I love being in a very sunny environment. I'm not a big fan of winter, so that's one thing I have to give Hong Kong for. And secondly, food. Hong Kong is not only the financial capital of Asia, it is also the food capital of Asia. From Thai, Korean, Indian, Japanese, Philippines, the street food, the tea culture. I'm not really impressed with the tea I've had in Canada since I moved here. But when I was in the UK, I used to wonder why all the Chinese foreign residents were always drinking tea. And I caught the bug right after moving to Hong Kong, and until date, I still look for the tea here. So there's also easy traveling. Hong Kong is equidistant from various countries, countries and cities such as Bali, Tokyo, Australia, India, mainland China, and traveling is pretty easy and affordable. I could go to Vietnam for $200 for 3 days, which covered hotel, flight, and a city pass, which is when I started to travel extensively. And the Hong Kong people are very trendy and tech savvy. Hong Kongers are one of the most trendy people I've met in my life, and I've been to 32 countries. It's not uncommon to see older generations playing games, playing interactively with the internet. The internet is super fast. The metro is awesome. The octopus, which is known as Canada's metro, can be used to purchase items, and it's very affordable and efficient, and the people are very fashion forward. I caught in the sneakers culture while in Hong Kong, and there are lots of exciting brands springing up from Hong Kong. And lower taxes and safety. There's no sales tax in Hong Kong, and they have a very friendly tax regime. I was able to conveniently save about 50 to 60% of my income, and I don't think anyone or majority of people in Canada save 50% of their salaries or income. And it's a very safe city, no gun violence, very minimal clashes. So definitely these are the things that I did like about it. What I didn't like about Hong Kong, some might find it a bit controversial, but I just want to be very honest with my personal experience in Hong Kong. Yes, it's a beautiful city. Yes, it has all these amazing things, but there's certain underlying issues from my own personal experience that I didn't like about it. And yeah, so it's just my own experience, but it's still an amazing country, an amazing city-state irrespective. Small houses. The typical house size is about 430 square feet, which is the size of my toilet that I live now in Canada. So yes, Hong Kong is a wealthy city, but at times staying in a small space can have a claustrophobic effect on people. And for that reason, till date, I don't like small spaces. It gets on my nerves. And that's also one of the reasons why I'm moving to Canada was a form of therapy, because everything is a lot bigger in Canada. Okay, there's some new estates that I'm seeing that are sort of annoying though. So another thing I did experience in Hong Kong was also some form of racism as well. So I personally was working in a high-level organization, so obviously there are subtle checks to check behaviors like that. So I never expressed any outright racism at work, I have to say that. But however, I did see other black people who were not of the same educational attainment as me go through some form of nasty treatments. Especially in Chongqing Mansion, a lot of them were unable to get jobs. A lot of them were just treated like the scum of society, basically. So I did see that black class that was not doing really well. And I did observe that in Hong Kong, you could see some foreigners begging on the road who happen to not be black. But if a black person tries to do such a thing, you'll be deported as soon as possible. So I did see all those type of behaviors. And there's also some form of country classification that goes on in Hong Kong as well, especially in terms of job opportunities. Would I call that racism, or I don't know, but basically speaking, as a black African, you're the bottom of the job pyramid. Some do, there always obviously there'll be exceptions to the rules, but I did realize that Westerners and even black Westerners were able to get better opportunities faster than a black African. I wouldn't call it racism, more of country classification. So I had my black American friends, black British, were able to move around different firms the same way I could move around different firms. So that was one thing I did observe during my stay in Hong Kong. But overall, that's one thing you should be aware of as you go to Hong Kong. It's also curiosity. Usually people from mainland China who are seeing black people for the first time are fascinated. It doesn't mean they hate you, but they haven't seen you before. So there's always this, I don't know the word to use, this, will I say, what's the word I'll use? There's always this fascination. They just look at you like this. And then I'm like, but it's not coming from a racist part. It's just, they're very curious to see what happened. I had one of the events that got me really uncomfortable. What had happened was there was this old man who just saw me and touched my skin to see maybe it was probably, and looked at his palms, probably seeing whether I was going to stain or something. And the funniest one was I went to a village and the local people there started calling me Obama. It still cracks me up till date. And of course, there's a language barrier. So yes, Hong Kong might have gotten its independence as at 1999 from United Kingdom, and English is spoken for the most part. It's still a Cantonese city. So on some of the highest level jobs, they were not accessible to me, which is not necessarily their fault. I mean, it's their country, it's their rules. So if you cannot speak the language, and you have to just manage what you have. But I did see some high level jobs being occupied by Westerners. I don't know. I suspect they got in there through internal transfer. So yes, I did mention about the weather. Now there's another side of the weather. They usually have typhoons and hurricanes. So some days I didn't go to work, and they have this app that shows the grading system for people, where to tell you don't go to, I think once it's level 8. Once it's level 8, then you're not going for work. You should be sure there's no work for that day. So there was that app. It was very scary just looking outside and seeing buildings pillaged on the floor, seeing trees damaged on the ground. The traumatizing part, it felt like the world was about to come to an end. At some point I was like, what the hell am I doing here? And when I came out the next day, the entire city was soaked with trees, so many like hubrisses, dirt, windows splash. It felt like, when you watch those action movies and they're showing like Armageddon, that the world are sort of spoiled and something like that. That's what Hong Kong looks like after a hurricane. So that can be a very, very scary scene if it's your first time seeing it. So Hong Kong is a global city, and it has people coming in and out every day. So in that sense, it's a temporary home. It doesn't give you a feeling of, this is where I want to stay for like 10 years, the way other popular cities do. It's a city where you can lose 5 friends who have left the country and gain new ones who have come into the country. And as a result of that mass relocation, there's a struggle to make long-lasting, meaningful friendship and relationships. So for me, you might realize that, okay, all the friends I used to have in this city, we no longer talk to ourselves. There is no, maybe there's one of them we still keep in touch with, but like majority of them, everybody has moved on to do other things. So there is that part about Hong Kong. But overall, I think overall it's still a great city to live in and experience. But I wouldn't say it's a city I want to like live in. It's a city I want to transit in as well. Spend about 2 to 3 years and go.